Hey everybody, before we get to the show, I just wanted to let you know about some changes coming to the odddadout.wordpress.com site. First off, for now, that is still going to be the show's home. Hopefully that'll be changing soon, but in the meantime, that's where we are. I'm working first to get a series of subscribe buttons put up on the homepage so you can get the latest episodes delivered right to you as soon as they're available, whether you listen on your Android phone, iPhone, through your iTunes on your computer, Stitcher app, or any other apps you might use. So get tons of subscribe buttons up there however you want to sign up. Next, I want to put together a page devoted just to the podcast I enjoy, the ones I listen to frequently, the stuff that fills up my phone and uses up all my data. Because I figure if you listen to me, you probably enjoy my style of humor to a degree, and you might enjoy some of the things that I listen to. So it's at least worth a listen. If you like them, great. If you don't, I'm not getting anything out of it, just sharing what I enjoy. Let's see. I am trying to really work on getting more content out to you guys, whether it's more things in the show, more web stuff, more Facebook, Twitter, things like this, more social media. I want to get a lot more out to you. It's all kind of rolling out slow. So if you want to help out with that, while you're on the odddadout.wordpress.com site, consider clicking that donate link up top. That would be really awesome. And there may be something in it for you too. But for now, I just want to say thanks for listening and on with the show.
Hey Dad, it's time for your show.
Beginning Odd Dad Out podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Odd Dad Out podcast, where normal is not my specialty. This is a show about nothing and everything all at once. As always, I'm your devilishly handsome host, Adam Higgins, at Odd Dad Out on Facebook and Twitter, and every day at odddadout.wordpress.com. Let's get the show rolling. It is harvesting season, and in Arizona, that's dead of winter. It's an odd little thing that I rediscovered when I moved back out here. And to normal people out in the Midwest and areas where they farm, you think of harvesting and whatever in the springtime. In Arizona, it's wintertime, because out here, or at least when you're in central Arizona like I am, it's citrus. And I forgot. I moved to Texas when I was 10. So I totally forgot that we pick oranges and lemons and all the citrus in the middle of the fucking winter. I have an orange tree in my yard. And every year it gets a little bit healthier and a little bit healthier. And in a single day, this week, I managed to pick 50 pounds of oranges just for the fuck of it, because some of the guys at work said they wanted some oranges that I'd brought in. And I was like flabbergasted. Like, really? Okay. My wife fucking hates them. My wife does not like the oranges we grow. She says they're too dry, they're too bitter. I'm like, baby, you're forgetting what oranges taste like or something, because these are good. And she, again, Texan, she's used to Texas navel oranges, which I think they water these things with sugar water, because they are ridiculously sweet. But I like my oranges. Maybe it's just because I grow them, but I like my oranges. But harvesting season aside, it's still fucking January. It's still the middle of the fucking winter, and the El Nino is not letting anybody forget it. There are fucking blizzards and shit going on. They're talking about this is the worst El Nino we've had in wherever, and I've talked before about Arizona does get real winter, for real. Just this last week, we had fucking, in Flagstaff, 30 inches of snow in like 3-4 days, and pretty much through that week, 3 inches of snow in Flagstaff. And yeah, it snows in Flagstaff. It's a lot of fucking snow. Globe, Arizona, just on the other side of the valley, basically. Phoenix sits in a hole, you go over the mountain, on the other side of the mountain is Globe, Arizona, mining town. There's not much to Globe, Arizona, other than the fact that right now, people are making jokes. Because it's called Globe. And in Globe is a lot of snow. The joke writes itself. People write like putting pictures on Facebook and Instagram and shit of snow in Globe. It got so cold and snowed so much that you could not get into the town because the roads are so steep. You could not go from Phoenix to Globe because the roads are so steep and covered in ice. It was not possible to actually drive that. You'd have to go all the fucking way around, down south through Tucson and back up and come back the other way. Now, most normal humans have no reason to ever to go to Globe. It's just an interesting factoid. This little nothing town in the middle of Arizona was inaccessible from major cities because of fucking ice. And it's winter. And even here in the desert, we're feeling it. Let's just drop stuff all over the desk. It's been a bitch. I mentioned I had 4 days of solid rain and my dumbass forgot to turn off the fucking sprinklers. So not only am I just getting fucking rain all day for most of the week, I have to walk out, and school started back up this week, so I've got to load up all the boys in the morning, get everybody out to school, and I go out and I've got like a half inch of fucking water in my front yard. And it's, you can look out on the sidewalk and see that it was running out across the sidewalk into the street. I'm like, fuck, damn sprinklers, and I forgot to turn them off. And God, that's been a pain in the ass, because it'll start raining in the middle of the fucking night. My sprinklers, I'm one of those smart people that water. It's like, I live in Arizona. You don't water your grass in the middle of the day. It'll evaporate. Even in the winter, it's still bright and sunshiny, and it'll evaporate, or it'll burn your lawn or whatever, all those fun things you learn about how to fucking water your yard when you live in Arizona, and tricks about sunlight and shit and water refraction. And it's like, really, you do have to learn this kind of stuff. You have to learn that you can't water your lawn during the daytime, because if they're standing like water droplets on the grass with the high noon sun, it'll turn into a magnifying glass and scorch your yard, and suddenly all the water will evaporate off, and it'll burn your yard, and it'll all die. Only in fucking desert do you have to worry about putting too much water on your grass. It makes no sense, but that's just the world I live in. Other people live here too, but they aren't talking about it. Let's see. Because I told you I have notes now. It's crazy. Yeah, but with all these fucking storms, there's concern now about, I think I heard on a weather report, and it was raining like hell out here. I heard somebody talking in a show from California, and he said they were promised like 2 weeks of solid rain, and they got like a day and a half. That shit must have all fucking come here, because it was just coming down and coming down and coming down. Makes work hell for me, because we're trying to go in and out of job sites, and we're tracking mud every fucking where, and they don't like it when you do that at night. And then it just means more work for us, having to clean up the mud we dragged in everywhere. But yeah, let's see. Because I lost my place. Because, see, that's the thing. I said, I'm going to have notes. I'm going to know what I'm doing. I'm going to have stuff kind of laid out and think things through. Well, the problem with having notes is you have to fucking look at them. And I look at the notes, and I think, oh, yeah. And then I look down at the notes again, and I'm like, oh, fuck, where was I? Yeah. Because it's raining, and I keep going back to the rain, and I keep getting lost, and that's what I do. I get lost. I think of something, and then I forget that I was thinking it. And then here we are, rambling on about what I don't know I was looking at. But, oh, yeah, because, again, oranges, rained for a fucking week. I go back to start picking oranges the day it stops raining. And so finally, I can get outside and get this shit done because I don't want to lose a bunch of oranges. I don't want to, it's like, yeah, I'm basically giving them away, but I don't need a bunch of dead oranges on my tree. When I'm picking 50, 60 pounds a day and fucking nothing, I've probably got another 100, 200 pounds of good oranges just on my tree that I haven't gotten to yet. I know I've picked somewhere in the 150 pounds already just from doing the math of what I've eaten and given away and bullshit already. I've probably got another 200 pounds of oranges sitting on my tree still that I need to get to. And it's difficult to sit there picking oranges when you've got screaming kids inside. It's like nap time. I'm off of work. Nap time. Everybody go to sleep. Shh, Daddy's going to be in the yard. And as soon as that fucking door clicks open, Daddy, what are you, I want to go outside. No, go take your nap. Daddy, I'm hungry. No, go inside. Stay inside, go play, watch a show. I'll be a few minutes. Because really, there's so damn much out there. In 10 minutes, I can pick 20, 30 pounds easy. I've done it over and over again, and I'm shocked with how much I'm able to get at a time. It's kind of crazy. But if you've never grown citrus, it doesn't mean anything to you. But when you're like me and you have an orange tree, or many, which most people out here don't just have one tree. They'll have freaking 3, 4, 5 trees. I know the guys buy my mailbox because, you know, we have a HOA, and our HOA, and everybody noticed this, if you have an HOA, you've got that community mailbox, like you had an apartment complex or something, but you've got that community mailbox, and instead of just being able to go out to the end of your fucking yard, you have to go around the fucking corner with a key, and remember which the hell box is yours, and which the hell location, and all that shit. I hate that. I hate fucking HOAs because they're bitches, and they make rules and stupid shit. And oh, you have to have your landscaping like this, and you have to do this bullshit. And if you've got 2 fucking weeds, they're going to charge you $50. It's bullshit. I hate fucking HOAs. I think the world, and people, you know, overwhelmingly dislike HOAs. There's a handful of things they're good at. If you have a good HOA, there's a handful of things they're good at. Don't tell me how to fucking mow my lawn. And don't bitch about my weeds. You come and pick them. And so I can take care of my kids. Because, you know what? Taking care of my kids and that shit, that's a lot more important than picking the fucking weeds on the side of the house. Really don't care about that. It's like, am I going to get to it? Yeah, eventually. But when they say there's a time and a place for everything. And the middle of the fucking day, when it's raining all week, in the winter, so it's like 40 fucking degrees outside. Sorry the rest of you people that get real winter where it's like 20 and 10 below and you're in a blizzard and you have to shovel your car out every morning and turn it on and you got an engine block warmer and shit installed. Like, I'm sorry, my winter is 40 degrees. You know, I have ice on my windshield in the morning, not surrounding my entire car, and I have to go out with a pickaxe. It's Arizona. Sorry, I live in the desert. 40 degrees is fucking cold for me. You know, ice on my windshield is a pain in the ass. And I don't like the snow. That's why I live in the desert. But, you know, it's 40 degrees outside and raining. I'm not going to go out and fucking mow my yard. For that matter, I haven't mowed my yard. And I'm ashamed of this. I haven't mowed my yard since Sam was born. And for those of you keeping track, baby Sam was born in August. Yeah, like the beginning of August. I've got like 3-foot fucking weeds in my backyard right now that I haven't been able to get to. And at this point, I'm going to have to take a fucking machete to the backyard and rake it and haul it all away before I can even consider starting the lawnmower. I could probably mow the front yard just for appearances and it'll be alright, but either way, it's cold and wet and I don't want to do it, and I've still got all the boys during the day. So, yeah, fuck you, HOA. Doesn't everybody just want to do that? Just go, fuck you, HOA, and all you uppity old fucks that run it. Especially out here because we've got what are called snowbirds, and some people will call them winter Texans out there. I don't know what they call them in the rest of the country. I've lived in 2 states. But Texans, you get your winter Texans. Out here you call them snowbirds. And it's basically those old bastards who live in some other state that gets fucking cold and has mild summers. So they have a house in Arizona or Texas or Southern California, Mexico. Basically all these nice low states that have temperate winters where your winter is like 40 or 50 degrees, not minus fucking 20. You know, I had neighbors who lived in Washington State who basically once it hit like 50 degrees here, they came down here because they lived like fucking near Seattle or whatever. And so it was like 20. They were freezing their asses off. And so, we're going to go back to our house in Sun City. Like, fuck you, old bastard. It's like, toughen up. Or just retire. Go to Florida. Get the hell away from me because you're an annoying fucking neighbor. Period. The end. They're always annoying neighbors. They're never the happy people. Snowbirds and winter Texans, whatever you're calling them, they're never the happy people. They're always the old crotchety fuck who just is going to sit there and nitpick about your fucking yard and is going to sit there and give you shit all the time. And they try and act so fucking friendly, like they're the greatest grandparents in the world. And you just want to, like, no, go, move the fuck away. And don't bring your damn grandkids around here. I don't want to trick or treat with my kids at your house because you want to talk. It's trick or treat. Give me candy. Get the fuck out of my way. Like, I'm going to knock on your door. You're going to put candy in the bag. I'm going to take my kids and move to the next house. Don't fucking talk to me while I'm at the next house or the next house. Don't start a conversation at the door. It's trick or treat. Get the fuck out. Wrong season. Oh well. I didn't do a show in October to rant about Halloween, did I? If I did, I was too fucking busy in October. I was still readjusting to new baby, and the boys adjusting to new baby. So we're playing catch up. It's January. And I can talk about whatever the fuck I want. Because I had notes, fuck the notes. Realistically speaking, I'm 3/4 of the way down my notes and I haven't said shit. We're halfway through the show theoretically and I haven't said shit. But let's see. Let's look at the notes, shall we? Magical interlude. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Okay. Yeah. Because there's always some whatever going on. Today, again, I've said at the beginning, this is the week of January 11th. Tonight was the NCAA football, the BCS championship. Is it the BCS? I don't know. I don't watch football anymore. I'm not a restaurant manager. It doesn't matter to me who plays in what sports anymore, really. I did that shit for 13 fucking years where suddenly I had to care about every fucking football game. And I had to know who's playing who, where, who's playing at what time, and most of this was in Texas or when I was here, but who was, like, what time were they playing? Is it a morning game? Is it an afternoon game? Is it the first game of the day? Does the game start before we open or just after? And all this sort of shit. And I had to keep, and not only for professional football, but college football. And when I was living in Texas, it was every single football game. Professional football, college football, high school football. And I had to know every fucking game that could possibly affect anything in any little possible fucking way, because in Texas, football is religion, and so you have to know every fucking football game. And at the very end, when I was working with the same company here, Texas-based company, so I still had to obsess about every fucking, and I'll just out and say it. I worked for Wingstop. I was there for almost 10 years. I haven't worked there for a year and a half now. It's been a year and a half? Yeah, it's been about a year and a half. I have to stop and my concept of time is all fucked up, really. I'm 31 years old and I still, I'm the youngest crotchety old man you're ever gonna find, but I'm the ultimate Toys R Us kid. I always tell people that I've gone 30 years without growing up. I'm not about to start today. Period. That's kind of my way through life, is that I still, as much of the crotchety old cranky grandpa as I am, I still would rather sit there watching cartoons and playing video games. And I don't, like, I sit there with my boys every day and we go through Netflix and watch every fucking cartoon that Disney has ever released on Netflix. And every movie related to a cartoon, we've watched every episode available on Netflix currently of Liv and Maddie, Wizards of Waverly Place, let's see, Good Luck Charlie, Phineas and Ferb. We're waiting on season 2 of Dino Trucks, really are. Ant Farm. I know I'm forgetting a bunch. Did I say Sophia the First? We're working through Sophia the First because they added a new season, so we gotta get caught up. We've seen all the movies for all these shows. Any of them that have movies, all those Disney movies, the like Disney, like TV movies that, they put out and they take all the kids from the shows and stick them in a movie. We've seen all of them. Teen Beach movies 1 and 2 and Lemonade Mouth and Let It Shine. And we watch all this shit all day. And really we don't just watch it because the kids want to watch it. It's one of those things where, and I'm one of the, and again goes to, I don't grow up. But I get just as attached to these shows as they do. It's like, they want to watch the next episode of Digimon. Me too, and I watched it when it was new. Like, my 3-year-old, oh fuck, he's gonna be 4 in 2 months, god damn it. That's just a kick in the balls right there. Thinking, that's why I have a bad concept of time. Because if I think about time, I think about things like, I don't think about my age. I don't think about my wife's age. I think about my brother's age. My little brother's ages. I think about my kids' ages. And that's the shit that makes me feel old. And I'm sure probably for you, you don't think about how old you are in that number. It's like, I think about, I'm 30. Okay, I'm 31. Okay, I'm 31. I don't feel 31. I don't look 31. I sure as shit don't act 31. And I have to remind myself sometimes, and my wife gets pissed about this when I phrase it this way. But I have to remind myself sometimes that I'm a father, I'm married, I have 4 kids. And it's not that I forget I'm a dad. It's oh shit, I'm a dad. What the fuck? How I'm responsible for other people's lives. I've accomplished what's basically the top level of adultdom. Like the only next step after you become a successful parent, like you're married and you've successfully had children and you haven't killed them. I mean, yeah, the oldest is 6 and I've got plenty of time to rip his throat out. But at some point, everybody, and it's a dad thing, at some point you're gonna get in a fight with your oldest son. It's just something that happens. It's like that man rite of passage thing. Eventually the sons, try and exert dominance and take control and become the alpha male and all that shit. And it happens. I make the argument with my wife that that's eventually going to happen. But, like, my oldest is 6. And I think, oh, fuck, I have a 6-year-old. Like, I have a kid in 1st grade. It was bad enough when he started school. Now he's in 1st grade. God damn. That's how fucking old that makes me. And then, it's like, wait, fuck, like, having a baby was one thing. It's like, yeah, we've got a 5-month-old. Okay. We also have a 6. We have a 2-year-old. And one going on 4. And a 6-year-old. And you're just like, oh, fuck, I'm a dad. It's like, the Toys R Us kid's not supposed to be dad. He's not supposed, I'm perfectly happy riding my bike down the lanes at the Toys R Us if my wife didn't yell at me and say you couldn't do that. Now, I'm sure she's going to listen to this and she's immediately going to think of her own dad. My father-in-law is the same way. I honestly blank out how old my father-in-law is, in part because I'm terrible with remembering other people's ages. I remember my kids because I have to, because my wife would kick my ass. And I have to remember my wife's age because she can't remember shit and she doesn't remember how old she is. And, woman denies her age, deny. I look at everybody else's age in relation to my own and it makes me feel old. it's like, oh shit, I've got a 6-year-old, but, and then I have to stop and reassess that thing, because when you think about it in like that, then you're like, oh fuck, I'm old. But then I have to stop and be like, well, wait, no. Like, I'm 31. Like, I had my first kid when I was 25. I got married at 24. I had the first kid at 25. And, like, that's acceptable. That's totally a responsible adult thing to do. It's like, I didn't have kids at 16 and get married right out of high school. I dropped out of college before I met my wife. Yes, I dropped out of college. Sorry, people. I was a restaurant manager. I made more money than I was in the field I was studying. But it's like I successfully adulted. I'd made full life decisions and then met my wife, and then we got married and had kids. It's like I've gone a full adult life path. So it's perfectly acceptable to be my age and have kids. It's perfectly acceptable to be my age and have 4 kids. Most people don't have them so fucking packed together like we do. But it's perfectly acceptable and reasonable to have so many kids. It's a pain in the ass. But I'm not some, crazy person out there. There's nothing wrong with it. But when you don't think about it that far, you feel old. And I do that shit to my sisters too, because I'm number 3 in line. I've got 2 sisters, one's 3 years older, one's 6 years older. So every time I make a post on Facebook or something about, oh man, I feel old, then she's like, shut up. That's all they can say. It's like, you're 6 years older than me. So I'm 31 now. My oldest sister is 37, she'll be 38 this summer. And so she's a hell of a lot closer to 40 than I am. That's when you feel old. 30 you feel bad, but it's when you're looking at like our youngest brother, our half brother who lives in Texas, just graduated high school. That's a big, oh fuck. My youngest, your youngest sibling is no longer in school. You're like, fuck. It's like the last thing left. And it was our other brother. When he hit other than our half brother that just graduated, all of my siblings are of legal drinking age. I think at this point, almost all of them can rent a car without penalty. I was like, oh god, fuck, that just makes me I'm terribly old. I'm a geezer. And it's bad. And then I think about my parents. I was like, wait, mom and dad are old. It's okay. Like, mom and dad are really old. But, and then you still have to dial it back. And it's like, well, they're not that old. It's like, dad is 65. And 65 sounds old when you have an 18-year-old son. It doesn't sound so old when you have a 37-year-old daughter. So it's okay. It's just age, time. Time is relative. And Einstein would say things like that. And time is how you perceive it. But it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant how you perceive time, because everybody agrees on time. Currently, everybody agrees on time except the Chinese, so fuck the Chinese calendar. Sorry. The rest of the world uses the same calendar. Chinese calendar is, I don't know what the fuck. I've never been able to figure it out, and I'm not Chinese, so I don't care. But time is relative, but we agree on it. And time says, sometimes you feel old, and sometimes you feel like a crotchety old man, and sometimes you're a Toys R Us kid, and that's okay. And sometimes you're the odd fucker who's both of those at the same time. And that's me. And you chose to push play. So you at least appreciate that. But that sounds like a great jumping off point for me tonight, because I got way off topic, but that's what I love about my show. I love this show because I can do that. Because I seriously, honest to everything, I had an entire fucking show written out. Seriously, I had so much bullshit written for tonight about the fucking weather. Really. I came into this show tonight, and I've said it before, I'll make a plan. Even when I make a plan, it falls to fucking pieces. because if I have a script, if I have notes, I rush it. I die with notes. I really had a lot. I did, seriously. And I blew through all this bullshit about the weather. And seriously, I plan to do a show about the weather. So I'm glad I got off that topic, kind of. But in the meantime, I think the cat's trying to get in the room. I do want to thank everybody out there for listening again, because you guys are the reason I do this. And going to give you some kind of things I'm throwing out before we go tonight. I'm working on, among other things, I want to know from you guys, because I'm going to throw this out right now. What do you think about live broadcasts? What would you think about being able to go in and listen to me live and be able to chat with me live? You know, who knows? I'm considering experimenting with this. I know a lot of people do live shows, and you basically get like 5 people that listen to your show live, and then the other 20 listen to it on playback later. But what would you think about that? You know, drop me a line on odddadout.wordpress.com and let me know how you feel about it. Do it anyway, even if that's not what you're talking about, because I just want to hear from you. But in the meantime, I think that's going to do it for tonight. I think I said that already, but I think that's going to do it for tonight. So I just want to thank you guys all for coming along on this ride. Don't forget you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter at OddDadOut. I've been Adam Higgins, your Odd Dad Out. Thank you, and good night.